Chapter 283, The Secret Worry. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. What Yan Qingwu was best at was sword technique. Because Zhang Yuochen had unexpectedly broken her sword early, it meant she was unable to demonstrate her superior sword technique. The second time they fought, she decided not to meet Zhang Yuochen head-to-head. Instead, she decided to use her advantage of speed. Let's start. Zhang Yuochen held the Abyss Ancient Sword and executed his opening posture. Standing like a pine tree, silently and unmoving, giving one a sense of unfathomableness. Wind and fire connection. Yan Qingwu unleashed a sword technique of spiritual stage's superior class. She planned to actively test Zhang Yuochen, forcing him to reveal his flaws. Yan Qingwu's sword moved closer and closer to Zhang Yuochen. It looked like her sword was about to pierce his heart. All of a sudden, Zhang Yuochen swung his sword. The sword breath fell like a waterfall and chopped towards Yan Qingwu. Bam, bam. Yan Qingwu flew out and fell to the ground, cut in half by Zhang Yuochen. The sword in her hand also was broken in two. So I only need a single attack. Zhang Yuochen didn't look at Yan Qingwu's spiritual body but resheathed the Abyss Ancient Sword and walked out of the secret room. After reaching the Earth Realm's final state, Zhang Yuochen could attack with a speed of 90 meters per second, much more quickly than Yan Qingwu. In terms of speed, Yan Qingwu had no advantage at all. Moreover, the Abyss Ancient Sword was very sharp, so Zhang Yuochen killed Yan Qingwu, who ranked in the top 100 on the Earthboard, with only a single attack. At this moment, on the top of the testing palace, Lei Jing sat with a young-looking old man and happened to see what happened just now. Zhang Yuochen's strike was so wonderful and was nearly perfect. Heart integrated into sword, without any flaws. The old sighed, marvelous. I never thought that there would be such a talented young man in the Omen Ridge. If this news was sent back to the headquarters, even the senior executive of the school and bank will notice him. Lei Jing shook his head and said, don't tell the headquarters this news for now. Why? Asked the elder. Lei Jing laughed and said, Zhang Yuochen just reached the Earth Realm. In the eyes of half-saints and saints, he is just a kid and they can kill him easily. Be mindful. The school of the martial market is not all of one mind. Once, the news was spread out, Zhang Yuochen might be in danger. The fewer people know, the better for him. The elder nodded and said, that's to say, we need to hide Zhang Yuochen's test result, so that the news will not get back to headquarters. Lei Jing nodded and answered, instead of not spreading the news, we are not spreading all of the news. If people knew that Zhang Yuochen, who just reached the Earth Realm's final state, killed a master-ranked top 100 on the Earthboard with only a single attack, it is certain to cause a huge sensation. It might even attract masters from the cult and the black market who will stop at nothing to kill him. But if Zhang Yuochen at the cultivation of the Earth Realm's final state is able to almost defeat the master who ranked 100th on the Earthboard, his talent was excellent but would not be strong enough to frighten the cult and black market. By that time, even if there were masters who try to kill him, I can help him. The elder said, I understand. If Zhang Yuochen, with the cultivation at the Earth Realm's final state, is able to nearly defeat the master who ranked 100th on the Earthboard, even he breaks through the Earth Realm's completion, he will only rank in the top 20 on the Earthboard. His power won't be incredible. After all, every few years, the top 20 on the Earthboard would change. It was only a difference in the realm, but it was a concept of two levels. Lei Jing and the elder only used another way to hide part of Zhang Yuochen power and talent. Lei Jing said, after all, Zhang Yuochen is just a prince of an inferior commandery. If he wants to reach a higher realm and get the best training, he must have a great many of practice resources. My help is limited, so he must show part of his talent to draw the school's attention. Only in this way, can the school give him more resources and help him. The elder said, since that is so, I will make it public that Zhang Yuo has reached the Earth Realm's final state. Meanwhile, we will only report the real test results of the first and second test to headquarters. Thank you so much. Lei Jing bowed to the elder. The elder laughed and said, We both work for the Marshall Market Bank. I don't want our talent killed before he has fully developed. I'm going to send today's test result and combat projection to the vessel spirit deity of the Earth board now. The elder was not a real human being but a doppelganger of the vessel spirit of the Earth board. After the test results were sent out, Lei Jing left and visited Zhang Yuochen again. Seeing Zhang Yuochen, Lei Jing felt pleased and laughed. Yuochen, there is one thing I didn't consult with you in advance. Maybe it is a little rash. Zhang Yuochen asked, what is it? Lei Jing told Zhang Yuochen the decision he and the doppelganger had made. After that, Zhang Yuochen frowned and said, the result has been sent back to the headquarters. Seeing Zhang Yuochen's worried look, Lei Jing said, don't worry. Showing part of your talent is a good thing that can draw the attention of the high-level people in the school and give you more practice resources. If it really attracts some strong warriors to kill you, I'll ensure your safety. Zhang Yuochen wasn't afraid of being assassinated by a master at all. He was worried about another thing. In the second test, Zhang Yuochen and Yan Qingwu mentioned Kai Yan some things about her practice which were all an absolute secret. Zhang Yuochen wasn't afraid that the high-level personnel of the school of the Marshall Market knew what he said in the second test. After all, in these people's eyes, he was talking nonsense, so they wouldn't think too much of it. Zhang Yuochen was worried that Kai Yao would hear the news. If she then remembers Zhang Yuochen this name, for sure she won't think it was a coincidence. Once Kai Yao knew that he didn't die, Zhang Yuochen could do nothing but die given Kai Yao's current invincible power and cultivation. What I said was very offensive, so the top personnel of School of the Marshall Market may keep it in confidence. After all, I'm a student of the School of the Marshall Market, so it is very unlikely that my words will travel into Kai Yao's ears. It is almost impossible. Zhang Yuochen exhaled a long breath and tried to stay relaxed. I needn't scare myself. 800 years have passed. No one would remember a man called Zhang Yuochen 800 years ago. Kai Yao may have already forgotten me. 10 years were long enough to forget a lot of things, a lot of people, let alone 800 years. 800 years was too long. Seeing Zhang Yuochen's worried look, Lei Jing asked, what are you worrying about? Zhang Yuochen shook his head and answered, nothing. Having thought for a while, Zhang Yuochen said, can you enter my ranking in 3 months? The next time the Earth board is updated, you want to postpone 3 months. Zhang Yuochen said, once the news that I ranked as the 100th on the Earth board ISS spread out, it will certainly cause an uproar. By that time, there would be many warriors who will try to kill me. So I need 3 months to strengthen my cultivation as a way to deal with these brutal challenges. Lei Jing thought slightly and said, it's good for you to delay. I'll do it. You just need to focus on your practice and be careful to not delay your martial progress. After returning back to the practice mansion, Zhang Yuochen still felt nervous and kept thinking about what he said in the secret room and what will happen if Kai Yao found out about what he said. Sitting in the practice secret room, Zhang Yuochen felt hot like a furnace. His skin was red and his shirt was soaked through with sweat. No, I must go crazy if I practice in my current state. Zhang Yuochen furrowed his brows tightly. His face was pale and even his lips were dry and cracked. All the meridians in his body were slightly bulging and they appeared rather fierce. Kong Xuan walked into the secret room and saw Zhang Yuochen's abnormality, asking, Master, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Zhang Yuochen retracted his genuine chi and kept calm. He stared at Kong Xuan and said calmly, were you not perceiving the sword comprehension? Why did you come in? A girl outside said she is here on Senior Sister Apprentice Liuo's orders to invite you to visit Senior Sister Apprentice Liuo's practice mansion. Kong Xuan said, right, I promised Senior Sister Disciple Liuo that I would talk about martial arts with her. I nearly forget about this. Zhang Yuochen rubbed his temples and forgot Kai Yao and the Earth board temporarily. He said, Kong Xuan, you stay here and perceive sword comprehension. Outside the practice mansion stood a girl around 16, with a slender body and beautiful face, whose temperament was very similar to Luo Shuaigan's. Her martial cultivation had reached to the Black Realm's dawn state. She was a talented young girl of the branch of the Luo clan, called Luo Xanyao. Luo Xanyao was more talented than many of the students of the external school, and so she had the right to enter the internal academy. Waiting for a while, Liu Xianyao got impatient as she didn't see Zhang Yuochen, and she said angrily, "He is just an internal disciple. Why is he so arrogant?" Senior sister disciple Liuo has actively offered an invite, yet you dare to act arrogant. So many warriors want to see senior sister disciple Liuo. Who does he think he is? Although Liu Xianyao was a branch of the Liuo clan, she was also a clansman of a Saint family. So she naturally looked down up the warriors of the Omen Ridge. She didn't understand why did senior sister disciple Liuo attached so much importance to Zhang Yuochen and invited him to talk about the martial arts.